831-0864. Station's your final time cue will be with 15 seconds until airtime. Mark, 15 seconds until airtime.
Oregon is going to the Final Four.
The following is a Learfield presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game.
Welcome to Duck Insider.
Man, it feels great to be a Duck.
Give it to me, baby. My house. I'm taking it there.
Their competitors, they'll want to put the O on.
Three, got it!
We're going to compete to a standard every day.
The Oregon standard.
Rebound. That's been in. 1 point more to go.
The opportunity to play, put Oregon on your chest, should mean a great deal to you.
Unloads on one into left field. Back toward the wall. Gone!
This program is staged to compete and to win championships.
Oregon wins!
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Better banking, local solutions. Live from the Country Financial Studio, let's talk Oregon athletics.
Baseball game day following a victory over Gonzaga last night. A midweek series for the Ducks. Got to keep the momentum tonight. 4:45 pregame show, 5 o'clock the first pitch. We've got a Quack video live stream for you as well as the Oregon Sports Network radio call. We've got a celebrity appearance in the booth tonight. Talk to you at 5 o'clock at PK Park. Oregon with a victory last night included Tanner Smith's 28th career home run, now second all-time. The record in program history is 30. Tanner Smith needs 2 more to tie that record. Spring game week, Ducks will be back on the practice field tomorrow for Dan Lanning's squad. Spring game is almost here. 1 o'clock, the scheduled start time, officially a 1:07 kickoff. And women's golf also with some good news for the 15th consecutive NCAA regional appearance. More on that for the women's golf team today. Rob Moseley, the editor-in-chief of GoDucks.com, going to be with us previewing the spring game. And Missy Lombardi, the Ducks softball head coach. Our weekly conversation with her before they play Pacific on Thursday, then a 3-game set in Berkeley against the Cal Golden Bears. More baseball interviews, more football interviews today as well. But we begin, if you've missed the details, on the spring game. The format. 10:30 a.m. That's when the Autzen Stadium East parking lots will open. Oregon soccer takes on Portland at Pape Field at 11 a.m. And also from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., the pregame fan fest that includes food trucks and a number of different sights and sounds from the United States military and armed forces. Really awesome. We continue to celebrate the armed forces, the servicemen and women at the spring game annually. Fan shuttles to Autzen will begin running from the Valley River Center at 11 a.m. The Autzen Stadium gates open at 12 p.m. There's some special benefits for season ticket holders and some cool opportunities. GoDucks.com with all the written details. Reference it on your phone. Spring game begins just after 1 o'clock. Following the spring game, there will be a post-game fan fest in the Hatfield-Dowling Complex Plaza outside the Duck Store, the Majowski Center, the Casanova Center main entrance, and the HDC. And then at 3 o'clock, Oregon baseball against Arizona State at PK Park. Just a reminder, that's the number 1 team in the Pac-12 standings versus the number 3 team in the Pac-12 standings. It's a big weekend for Duck baseball. Parking only available ahead of time. Fans are encouraged to, and kind of required to, buy your parking passes. It's all mobile via the GoDucks mobile app through Ticketmaster. There's a link available on the spring game details article on GoDucks.com. Parking passes, advance passes are $5 for season ticket holders, $10 for the general public. Parking not available for purchase the day of. So get that ahead of time. By the way, students are encouraged to sit in section 7 and 8. And a reminder, the students with the best 5 signs as selected by Oregon Athletics, please keep them respectful, pit crew. You're not going to win if it's not respectful. You know what I'm talking about. The 5 best, though, are going to be removed from section 7 and 8 for good reason, because you're going to watch the second half of the game from the sidelines, and that's also when the guest coaches will be calling plays. Javon Holland for Team Yellow, Marcus Mariota for Team Green. Parking ahead of time. Remember, more details, GoDucks.com. All of the nitty-gritty, if you will, available for reference on GoDucks.com if you missed any of what I was talking about. Game format, it'll be 4 15-minute quarters in the spring game. Now, we'll talk more spring game coming up, previewing it with Rob Moseley. But baseball versus Gonzaga. Tanner Smith, 28th career home run. Ducks are a bit slow offensively. Oregon was trailing 3-2, but the Ducks blew it open in the 7th inning. Nice to see Bryce Betcher get a 2 RBI knock to give the Ducks the lead after he was at spring football practice earlier in the morning. Drew Cowley had a 2 RBI knock. Sabine Ceballos hit a 3-run three-run shot to make it 9-3. His 11th of the year, tied for the team lead. The Ducks are now sitting at 27-12 on the season following an 11-4 win over Gonzaga. Pretty doggone happy. Mark Wasikowski, the Duck baseball head coach, meeting with the media last night.
Well, as you guys explode for 7 in that 7th inning, just what did you see overall from the team today?
A lot of resiliency. The arms that they threw out there today were really good arms, and for our guys to just continue to battle throughout the course of the game, and then eventually get to them there late was really, really good.
You guys had a long meeting out there. You guys won by 7, put up 11. Just what went on in that meeting that kept it so long?
No comment.
What did you see from Jackson Pace today?
Jackson, again, really good. He's gonna have the ball in play usually against him because he's a sinker baller and a lot of ground balls, and some of them found holes. But we threw 3 freshman pitchers out there today, and to keep a really good program to 4 runs, I was really, really pleased with. Yeah.
Leo Ullman with a couple of bullpen appearances now. What have you seen from him since going over to the bullpen?
Well, I don't know. It's 2, and what we've seen so far is just really good composure, really good command. He made another nice play off the mound today for a 1-4-3 double play. He looked comfortable today, I guess I'd say, and he looked comfortable this weekend out of the bullpen.
With Pace, you said there's a sinker ball pitcher. He got 7 groundouts today. Overall, in his last 16 innings, 6 earned runs. Just what have you seen the difference from him in these last couple outings on these Tuesday night games?
He's just been more probably aggressive with his stuff, getting it over the plate. I would imagine his percentages were, again, probably pretty good with all of his pitches for strikes. Threw really good changeups today as well. A couple of them in key spots to both left and right-handed hitters. And I just feel like he's probably been more aggressive here in the last couple of outings, as all of our pitchers probably have been.
That 7th inning starts with the bottom of your lineup with Jacob Walsh and Bennett Thompson. Just how nice is it to have guys like that at the end of the lineup who can start rallies, who can start crooked innings?
Yeah, and we were asking, Bennett, he was able to execute a slash for us and got it down in the corner. And then, a really good at-bat out of Betcher to be able to score a couple of guys I thought was tremendous key to that inning. And then things just kind of started getting going a little bit, and we were able to just kind of add on a little bit as we went. But the start of that with the bottom of the order was clutch. We really didn't have much going on. The Buckner kid that they threw, he's up to 94 miles an hour, and he looked fantastic with 3 pitches for strikes. And every guy that they threw out there today was, working in the low to mid-90s. And the guy that I think we got, the Graham kid, was up to 96. So they were throwing out some good arms against us, and we were just fortunate today.
Was it just a day off for Colby Shade?
Yeah.
And then what did you see out of Arrows batting in the 2-hole today, getting a few starts now?
Well, he got an RBI there late in the game. He didn't look as comfortable today as he did in the weekend. This weekend, he got, I think, a couple of starts and looked really comfortable from both sides of the plate. And so he earned another opportunity today. We're excited to be able to have him. He's been swinging the bat really well. So excited to see that guy swinging the bat the way he is. And, he's a really talented young player for us.
Sabine Ceballos goes yard today, drives in 4. He's now 10 RBIs off the single-season record at Oregon here. Just what has he meant to your guys' lineup this entire season? And last 2 weeks, he's been tremendous at the plate.
Tremendous, and he's probably saved I don't know how many runs over at third base. Defensively, the guy's a stud. He's a tremendous catcher as well, and we haven't seen him catch in a game here. He's just a wonderful human being, good kid, really happy he's going the way he is. The contributions he's given is awesome. It's a tough call today to player of the game. Is it Sabine Ceballos or Drew Cowley or even Bennett Thompson? Or there's so many different directions. There were a lot of good days for Ducks.
I want to go in one of those directions. pick your poison, Drew Cali or Bennett Thompson? Just how important are they to your team and your lineup?
Bennett's been coming on strong, you know. I mean, he's getting an opportunity to play a little bit more because he's earned it, you know. Drew Cali, I mean, you know, since he's gone over to shortstop, you know, the team has taken off and gotten on a tear. You know, we were able to take him out there at the end and give him a 1-inning breather, not a whole lot, but, you know, to get Carter back out there was also nice. To get another freshman on the field and Drew Smith as well at the end of the game to get another freshman on the field. So, I mean, we really like our team. We like our older players. We like our younger players, and it's just a lot of fun being around these guys every day.
Prince Hill kind of got into a little bit of trouble, then ends his inning with 2 Ks. Just how impressive is it for him as a freshman this year to come into high leverage scenarios and perform pretty well?
Well, yeah, he's been probably in as high a leverage scenarios as any of those freshmen have been. You know, but for those 3 guys to go out there today, I mean, you know, and do that against a very good program as freshmen, and the future's bright for the pitching. And Coach Angier, a lot of credit to him. You know, he's been very patient with those guys. He works with those guys, and the success, you know, he's been with those guys in the trenches, and to see them doing as well as they are, credit to Coach.
You guys have an idea who your starter is going to be tomorrow?
We haven't even talked about it.
Would Spoljaric be potentially available at some point tomorrow?
I would imagine so, yeah. They're all available.
We'll know for sure who's going to start the game tonight as part of the 4:45 pregame show on the Oregon Sports Network. I know who's going to start today, but since Waz didn't say, and he also didn't say on the Toyota Coaches Corner that we recorded earlier today, we'll be back for the Safeway starting lineup tonight as part of the baseball broadcast. Yeah, Mark Wasikowski, I think, pretty happy. The Ducks have had some more depth, I think, on display lately for Duck baseball, which has been great to see. You're going to need that, particularly with a midweek series, not just a midweek game, a midweek series. Tonight against Gonzaga, it continues. Women's golf, the women's golf team will make its 15th consecutive NCAA regional appearance after earning the number 2 seed in the Westfield Regional on Wednesday morning. The Ducks, number 8 in the latest GolfStat national rankings, have reached NCAA regional every year since 2008. This will be the program's 27th all-time appearance. Hosted by Indiana, the Ducks are the number 2 seed in the 12-team field. Mississippi State is the number 1 seed. Ducks enter the NCAA regional with some momentum after finishing as the runner-ups at the Pac-12 Championship, and they were the national runner-up last season. Congratulations to Derek Radley's squad. We'll be watching in the coming weeks as postseason play gets underway for the Ducks May 19th. At Greyhawk Golf Club in Scottsdale, the NCAA Championships, and that regional is coming up on May 8th. It will run through Wednesday, May 10th. More details to come for women's golf. Now, to a bigger-than-sports piece of news today. Duck Football released a powerful video stating, "Choose love and unity." I love the Ducks are using their platform, something that they all really care about.
In 2022, there were 44,310 deaths
due to gun violence in the United States. This year alone,
13,274
deaths due to gun violence. 175 mass shootings.
549 children
and teens have been killed.
We choose love and unity.
The Ducks mentioned, or the Ducks, I should say, filmed that "We Choose Love and Unity" after practice on Tuesday. Something that they really believe in, and you're going to see a lot of media coverage about this. Dan Lanning has been talking about this now today quite a bit and using the platform. Pretty great stuff from Duck Football. Bigger than sports, no doubt about it. When we come back, talking a little bit more spring game with Rob Moseley. We'll break it all down on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey Duck fans, we're all about protecting our home turf here in Eugene. You should do the same for your home with Country Financial Insurance. Most home insurance doesn't account for inflation, but with Country Financial, yours can. If something happens to your home, make sure you can rebuild the same house in the same place. Call a local representative or 866-COUNTRY and get a solid defense for your home. Home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Casualty Insurance Company, or Country Preferred Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois. Property must meet age and condition requirements, which vary by state.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, OnPoint proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. OnPoint Community Credit Union. OnPointCU.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Don't go anywhere. Duck Insider continues after these messages on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
To protect his home and family from disaster, Steve used courage, wisdom, and his camera phone.
That should do it.
Way to go, Steve! By simply taking digital pictures of his family's important documents, Steve can always have them stored safely online, no matter when disaster strikes. Learn other simple ways to protect your home and family before a natural disaster at ready.gov. That's ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Welcome back. It's Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Joey, Mac, Rob Moseley here in the Country Financial Studio. Happy Wednesday. Thanks for being our hump day guy, Rob.
Hey,
how are things?
Happy to do it. I'm waking up a little bit.
That's good.
Yeah, I'm doing the baseball game tonight, as I'm sure you are.
Yeah. I can't confirm. I will be there.
And so I kind of slow played my way into the day today.
Good.
So, yeah, I'm just kind of waking up. So if I say something dumb, luckily it won't be out of character. But this time it'll be because I haven't been I haven't done a lot of human interaction.
Have a little
this
caffeine.
point in the day. Yeah, I'm getting there. Yeah.
Have a
no,
little
believe me, I'm caffeinated.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a pot of coffee first thing is
a pot.
Oh yeah.
Really? I didn't know you were like a full pot guy. I figured you were like one travel mug guy.
If it wasn't for my caffeine, what's the word I'm looking for? Not addiction, but sensitivity. I would drink coffee. Dawn till dusk.
Really?
Yeah. I just like the ritual, yeah.
Okay. Learn something new every day on a Wednesday when Rob's here with us. It's spring game week. We're just running through all the details, Rob. But what's your day for the spring game? Where do you begin in your coverage of a big celebration of Oregon football?
I will probably walk over here because I'm assuming parking will be kind of a zoo.
That's good.
Which is, a great thing. And it means it's going to mean a lot of people are coming out here.
Heck yeah.
I live a mile away, so
it's a good walk.
I should probably walk over. Yeah.
It's a good walk. Gonna be nice weather.
Yep. I'll probably try to get here and watch some soccer.
Nice.
Excited to see those guys. They're at 11.
11.
Who are they playing?
Portland.
And then, head over to the game.
Portland State.
Yeah, you weren't wrong.
I had to finish the sentence.
Yeah, right. There's just a dramatic pause.
That's right. Thank you. Yeah.
But it doesn't really matter.
No.
It's spring. It's a scrimmage. It's all about coaches say all the time it's all about our team, but this really is just about our team. I mean, the result doesn't really matter. Yeah. I gotta assume you're probably not doing. Have you talked to Graham about this? You're probably not doing a lot of scouting of the opponent. You're not worried too much about matchups. It's like, hey, let's get our stuff. Kind of a new era for the program, new looking goal. It's just some new faces. Had some long-time veterans of the program who finished up their careers in the fall. So
I mean, we could just go open the studio door right now and ask him.
He wasn't in there. I just walked by.
Okay.
Yeah. But anywho, and then go to the game, and then see what happens. Yeah, I mean, it's just what I think my takeaways will be always ends up getting kind of thrown on its head once things play out. So
sure.
You try not to go in with too many assumptions. And then I'll end up at PK Park. It's just a matter of will I be covering the game,
right,
or will it just be hey, just go watch the last few innings and be more of a fan.
Big weekend nonetheless.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
You know what I think you should do? I think that you should just be a fan and have a beer for me.
At the baseball game?
Yeah. Can you take one for the team and do that for me?
Here's the thing.
Oh boy.
If I do that, which I would love to do, Yeah.
Now he's like, how could I do this?
Here's the bottom line. I'm doing the half marathon Sunday morning.
Okay. All right.
At 7
Okay. Okay.
So,
you're supposed to carb load.
If you're hanging out with your peeps, having a beer at a ball game, then, you want the night to just go on
Keep
and on
going.
and on.
I
and
understand.
On. Yeah.
So you're saying your willpower probably won't allow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not the world's most disciplined person.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
and
then have a nice water for me.
I'm very social, so if I see somebody I know, and again, it would just I'd get sidetracked. It needs to be one of those nights where I go to the game, go home, open a book, immediately start winding down.
Pass out
as soon as I get home.
Okay.
Yeah, totally.
Well, respect to you for doing the half marathon.
Yeah.
How many have you done now?
Oh gosh,
a lot, right?
Yeah, me half a dozen. I've done 3 full marathons. As I say, I've run 2. I've completed 3, but I've run 2.
So 3.
Yeah. The third one, there was some walk jog running.
Fine.
But I finished it. But the half marathon, just the fact that you end at the track is just
awesome.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big weekend for Oregon sports and the Eugene community in general. You get the spring game, sort of big celebration with baseball. Baseball's going to be going on Sunday while the marathon's going on. It's one of my favorite weekends of the year, honestly.
Yeah, it's pretty. There's a lot going on. And then to show up back, there's that annual ritual of showing up in the press box at PK Park on Sunday, walking a little stiff.
Yeah.
Having just gorged on the worst meal of the year. For some people it's Thanksgiving. For me, it's right after the marathon, half marathon.
What do you eat?
Just the grossest fast food order you could probably imagine. Yeah.
All right. So when you get to PK Park, do me a favor on Sunday, because if you I understand you're making a good decision not having a beverage for the broadcaster.
Yeah.
So when you get to PK Park, just open the radio booth door.
Yeah.
Just let me see that fast food order.
Gotcha. Yeah.
That's all I ask.
Yeah. Yeah, I had one of the years I did the marathon. Yeah, Nate Kruger, our football SID, still speaks of the bag of fast food I brought into the press box that day. To my credit, I don't think I finished it. I think I was handing out items by the end because I was
a bag that lives in infamy.
I'm going to eat 5,000 calories right now, and I ate 4,000 calories.
How many did you burn though?
Yeah, running a marathon, it's a couple thousand. Yeah,
it's gotta be.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to say it's 100 per mile is a rule of thumb.
So that tracks.
So, 2,500, 2,600, something like that, yeah.
So that's your weekend.
Yeah. A lot going on. Within a 24-hour period, soccer, spring game, baseball, half marathon.
And then back to baseball.
Yeah.
Rob Moseley, editor-in-chief, GoDucks.com. Read all about it, GoDucks.com, the entire weekend.
Yeah, not the half marathon part, yeah.
It might get referenced,
Yeah.
Like in your notable section.
Sure.
Oregon baseball also
just shine myself up
playing the same day as the Eugene Marathon. I mean, you could do that. Where are your eyes going for spring game? I always ask you this every year. What are you looking at in the spring game this year?
Yeah, I think one thing that Dan Lanning has made clear this spring is how kind of cautiously optimistic he is about depth. And so, you always expect in a spring game to see a lot of players, but kind of how quickly are some guys playing? I mean, first things first, how's the roster going to be split up? Right. I mean, if it is the green and yellow groups that they've been doing for most of this spring, you're not going to have a good sense of this is considered the starting group, quote unquote. Right. Because then your question becomes, okay, who – obviously you have the 11 that's on the field for the first play, but who are the 16, 17, 18 that are kind of the one group, the number one group. So, but I think, we could get a sense of, who are those guys. I think all of us are going to be interested in kind of formationally, what does the offense do with Will Stein? And that was the coordinator. What kind of personnel groupings is he using? Things like that. Coach Lanning has mentioned, using multiple backs, the versatility of the running backs. Opens up a lot of options. Guys that can catch the ball, and obviously pass blocking is always going to be a priority to those guys. So, what does some of that stuff look like? But some of the ancillary stuff too. The alumni that are here. It's always great to see those guys. And just catch up with them. And
it's one of the best parts about it.
Totally, and obviously, as a recruiting showcase, it's a big day for the program that way too. So kind of what kind of impression can kind of all of us kind of holistically make in terms of the atmosphere in the stadium and just, you know, the weather sounds like it's going to play ball, fortunately. So
bring sunscreen.
Yeah. No, I got, like, my nose got a little red at softball this past weekend, and I just stood out on a little deck for like half an inning, but it was like it had been a while. So yeah, sorry, guy.
You'll be all right.
You know, and this thing ain't hiding from the sun. It's a sundial.
Mine too.
Yeah.
Call me Rudolph.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Lights up.
Yeah, that's right. Rob Moseley, editor-in-chief, GoDucks.com. You know, I always love the spring game too. Like, we always have this thought of what we're looking for, and then after the game, there's always a couple things that surprise you.
Totally.
You know, like there's a couple big plays, or, you know, which number 8 ends up calling the best play.
Yeah.
In the Marcus Mariota versus Javon Holland. That's a fun little inside piece.
No doubt. Wear your number 8 jersey.
Yeah.
You'll be rooting for both sides.
Yeah,
both
you can
teams,
be both
coaches.
team green and
Yes.
yellow. It's great.
Yeah, no doubt. And that's why I say, you know, it's like what our takeaways, we think our takeaways could be now. Yeah, there's going to be a couple things that we're not really thinking of. You know, somebody that makes a play or some group that really, really shows up, you know, just something. So, you know, that's what makes it fun. That's why they play the games, Joey. I've heard it said.
That's well done.
Yeah, wisdom there.
That was wisdom.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was great. Baseball, huge weekend too.
Yeah, massive. I haven't actually looked at the standings coming out of last weekend. Are they in second now?
No, they're in first.
Okay.
Arizona State is 13-4, but here's where it gets interesting. ASU had a game get canceled earlier this year. So
is Stanford up there?
Stanford is 13-5.
Ah, okay.
Oregon owns the tiebreaker with Stanford.
Wait, so did Stanford lose to Cal on Sunday?
Stanford swept Cal. I'm almost positive.
Oh, okay.
But they played them in a midweek game.
Oh, okay.
Earlier this
week. Which
week.
wouldn't have been a conference game.
Stanford swept Cal. They beat Cal 6-5 in the midweek just
so
a little bit
cruising.
ago. So
right.
yeah, they swept Cal. And then, but where it gets interesting then is Oregon's 11-7 in third place.
Yeah.
Now, if you own the tiebreaker with Stanford, and then if you win the series, you own the tiebreaker with ASU. You inch up the standings. You also own the tiebreakers with the teams closest to you. Now, the Ducks still may need a little bit of help. You sweep Arizona State, you're in great shape. You win the series, you need a little help, but big weekend.
Yeah. Was it Major League where they said there's only one thing to do now, win the whole friggin' thing?
Why not?
Why not?
Why not?
Why not? Something
Why
like
not?
that.
It was something like that.
Yes.
Yeah. Good recovery.
Yeah.
It's a great movie.
Great movie.
Great movie.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's just so exciting to be thinking in those terms,
Yeah.
you know. That's, you know, again, that's kind of the standard around here, competing for championships. And, you know, you've got, you know, the softball team surging now, you know, after they you know, faced all those top 10 teams to open conference play. And you've got this baseball team playing itself kind of into the conversation. You know, neither one of them where they want to be right now, which is at the top looking to defend that. But, you know, had to, you know, with recent coaching changes for both those programs to, you know, to kind of be where they're at right now is, you know, I think in the big picture is really good. And, you know, I think, you know, for some of the question marks that both have had, you know, particularly in terms of pitching, you know, again, they're showing their resolve and they're fighting through some things and they're kind of where you want to be right now in the conversation to maybe contend for a conference championship, to maybe host
a regional
on both sides, which is such a big deal. So, yeah, fun. It's going to be a fun next few weeks.
Duck Softball Pacific, the opponent coming up on Thursday. Our weekly conversation with Coach Lombardi coming up next segment. And then at Berkeley, at Cal. That's a tough place to play, I'm telling you. That's a weird facility in Berkeley. I've called games there. It can be a tough place to play, a tough environment. So we'll see what happens.
Go on the road, you just want to win a series.
Yeah,
you know?
that's right. No doubt.
You know, keeping this winning streak going would be obviously phenomenal.
9 straight.
But I think, you know, if you can win a series on the road, you know, that's a victory in the Pac-12 conference, and then you feel like you kind of have maintained some momentum and then see where things go.
Awesome stuff. What did we miss, Rob? What else are you covering?
I'm going out to lacrosse today.
Lacrosse?
Lacrosse features.
Nice.
Yeah, they got their conference tournament coming up next week, I believe. Yeah. So, you know, that's a team that's been, you know, they remind me of men's tennis a little bit. You know, just been, you know, so many results where you're like, they were right there and just didn't quite come out on the right end of it. I mean, tennis had so many of those results. So for them to get that one against Stanford this past week was great for them. It's
senior day.
Yeah, I went over, I was at softball. I started out at tennis, went to softball, went back to tennis once I saw the result, and, shook Nils' hand, and he was like, oh, finally, it was about time we got one.
Yeah.
Because there had been so many where they were right there, they were so close, but to get one against that team on senior day and to have all the seniors play well was pretty cool. So
yeah, tennis has had a lot of 4-3 decisions.
Yeah, and lacrosse has had, they've fought really gamely against good teams, and and you lose 15-14 or 15-12 or something like that.
They've lost to Cal twice by 1 goal. They won a game against UC Davis by a goal, beat Arizona State by a goal. Yeah, I mean, they lost to Cal early. Yeah, it's 3 or 4 that have been losses by 1.
And you flip some of those, and just the feeling about the season just changes so much. But again, they're competing. I think they're trending the right direction. Just again in the big picture, but also on the other side of the coin, you want to win,
right? No doubt. No doubt.
The idea isn't slow incremental progress. The idea is win and compete for championships. So, hopefully we see that soon for those guys. But they've made us proud with their fight. That's for sure.
Yeah. Lacrosse next Wednesday after they play on the road against Colorado. Lacrosse next Wednesday is when their conference tournament begins. He's Rob Moseley, editor-in-chief, GoDucks.com. Best of luck on Sunday.
Hey, thanks, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. The goal is just to not walk.
Okay.
Yeah. I Hood to Coast is still out there. So basically, as soon as this half marathon's in the books, I'll take a couple weeks off and then just restart a half marathon training plan.
Okay.
So this is just sort of fitness based for Hood to Coast. So if I can just not walk, we'll see.
Not walk.
Yeah.
Rob Moseley, always jogging.
Yes. Hopefully. Hashtag always jogging.
Hashtag content right there.
Yeah.
Are we gonna put a GoPro on you? We've got one sitting right there.
What a boring video that would be.
No, it would be of your face.
Oh. Ooh, no one wants that. Nobody wants that.
The editor-in-chief of GoDucks.com, Rob Moseley. Thank you, sir.
Hey,
appreciate it.
Absolutely.
When we come back, Tanner Smith, 28th career home run last night, 2 shy of the program career record. Also, Missy Lombardi, Duck softball head coach, on the horizon on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers. Ready for some SUV action? Drive family adventures with the Highlander. Make a splash with the RAV4. Or haul fun with the Sequoia. Check them at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, we're more than just an award-winning golf course and practice facility. Our events team offers all-inclusive event pricing that allows us to take care of all the details while you enjoy your event. Our indoor and outdoor venues offer you a wide variety of fully staffed options that put the focus on you. From weddings to business and social events, at Shadow Hills Country Club Events Center, you get the benefits of a resort atmosphere and amenities in a peaceful country setting, just minutes from downtown Eugene. Call for a tour today or visit shadowhillsevents.com.
Dear Sharp Turns, Toyota has more all-wheel drive sedans than any other brand. Get a grip in the stylish Camry, the elegant Crown, the striking new Prius, or the sharp Corolla. Get to Toyota.com already. Toyota, let's go places.
Duck Insider continues after this timeout on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Chris Jakimick, I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. Being a veteran, it's interwoven into your DNA. It is really the absence of the connection and the purpose that can really drive a lot of veterans to some negative thoughts. For those who are in a suicidal crisis, the window of time to save somebody's life is very short. Our duty is to protect ourselves and protect our families. And one way you can do that is store your weapons safely. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
We've got Coach Lombardi coming up for Duck softball, but first I want to give Tanner Smith a little bit of a spotlight because I'll tell you, he has been great for Oregon. And, you know, he tends to get hot at times. He can be a little streaky in his career. The numbers would tell you that at least. And last night he hit his 28th career home run. Ducks got going late against Gonzaga. I think it was great to see Oregon put up a crooked number late in the game to pull away. A lot of good stuff with Tanner Smith post-game.
Tanner, you go Bridge today, had a home run against Cal. Just how you feeling at the plate right now?
Good. You know, with an offense as kind of hot as this is, it's makes hitting so much more fun, and that just contagious feeling. It's going into the box and feeling, you know, 8 other really good hitters right next to you.
That contagious feeling, what was it like in that 7th inning? Because that's exactly what it was.
Yeah. I mean, it's just so hard to describe. It just, you know, it seems like everybody's just dialed in on one goal and you know, and finding success.
Was it a little weird to not have Colby Shade next to you in center field today with Betcher there?
Yeah, it was. It is a little weird without Shade, but it's, you know, having Bryce out there too. He's such a good ball player and such a great defender. It's fun, you know, covering gaps with him.
Did you think you hit a second homer in that 7th inning? You almost went back-to-back with Sabine, and you guys were tagging that pitcher pretty well.
Yeah, I thought I hit it better than the first one, that's for sure, but, you know, yeah, it was a good swing, and ball lands where it lands.
You guys kind of struggled for the first couple innings until that big 7-run inning. Just what was Buckner doing, their starter, and I think you guys saw 1 or 2 relievers in between those guys.
Yeah, you know, they were mixing pitches better than we thought they were. You know, they all seemed to locate the ball pretty well, and, you know, it just kind of took us a couple innings to kind of catch fire and put things together.
All of those guys had, you know, ERAs like above 8. Does that kind of play in? Not that you guys take it for granted or, you know, don't think about it too much, but did the higher ERAs kind of get you guys a little off balance before the game where it's like maybe they're not that good of a pitcher?
Right. No, you definitely see that and take that into account a little bit. You know, success leaves clues, so going back and watching how they have an ERA like that is important for us in our preparation. So, yeah, definitely a factor.
Speaking of Bryce Betcher, how nice has it been to see him kind of get some more playing time and get some hits here and there?
It's been awesome. You know, can talk about Bryce all day. From what he does and what his schedule looks like on a daily basis, to see him have success in baseball and see all the hours he puts in, it's just fun to watch.
How do you think that Jackson Pace performed today?
Well, I think Jackson's really growing. I don't even think he's come close to his full potential yet, but I think, you know, he's taking steps in the right direction, and he's going to be a damn good pitcher in a couple of years.
Yeah, how nice is that to see a guy like a true freshman who goes through some downs and then comes back around and turns it back up?
Yeah, it's incredible. Freshmen are a flip of a coin every year. You know, it's their first year. It's a culture shock. It's eye-opening to be in college baseball, but to see, you know, what our freshmen have done, especially on the mound, like Grinsell and Leo, it's been so awesome to see.
Tanner Smith, his 28th career home run, 2 shy of the program record last night. Duck baseball back in action, 5 o'clock tonight, 4:45 pregame show across the Oregon Sports Network. We're going to get time out when we come back. Duck softball traveling today. We sat down with Coach Lombardi yesterday ahead of their 4-game road trip to the state of California. Talking softball next on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, OnPoint proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. OnPoint Community Credit Union, onpointcu.com. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity.
Hey Duck fans, we're all about protecting our home turf here in Eugene. You should do the same for your home with Country Financial Insurance. Most home insurance doesn't account for inflation, but with Country Financial, yours can. If something happens to your home, make sure you can rebuild the same house in the same place. Call a local representative or 866-COUNTRY and get a solid defense for your home. Home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Casualty Insurance Company, or Country Preferred Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois. Property must meet age and condition requirements, which vary by state.
Duck Insider, your home for the latest news on Oregon athletics on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
It's time for today's STEM tip. Okay, you know recycling is important. No one wants plastic in the ocean. Here's a cool way to repurpose a plastic bottle. Build an awesome terrarium. Cut a large plastic bottle in half and fill the base with sand, pebbles, potting soil, and your favorite plant. I chose an African violet. Put the top of the bottle over your base and place it in the sun. Your plant will grow sealed in its own ecosystem. Fun, right? Learn more at She Can STEM. A message from the Ad Council.
This is your captain. We are going to be experiencing some slight turbulence. Please fasten your... Oh, hold on. Just got a video of my cat.
Imagine the pilot of an airplane was as confident as you are texting and driving. Seems kind of crazy when you put it like that.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Back on Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Joey Mack in the Country Financial Studio. Oregon softball on the road. They're playing at Pacific in Stockton. That's coming up tomorrow, 4 o'clock start. It will be on KWVA. Ryan Milano is making the trip with Oregon softball. The student radio station will have the broadcast, also the WCC network for the TV broadcast at 4 o'clock. Against Pacific. Then in Berkeley, 3 o'clock, 1 o'clock, and noon, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It's on the Cal live stream, but you're going to want to listen to Ryan. He'll have the call from KWVA, the student radio station, this weekend as well, as Duck softball looks to build on their 9-game winning streak. Yesterday, sat down with Oregon softball head coach Missy Lombardi, reviewing the weekend. A good home weekend at the Jane. Here's Coach Lombardi. A quicker turnaround than normal for Duck softball. Missy Lombardi joining us. We're talking on a Tuesday after the 9th straight win for Oregon softball. That's a great number. How are you? It was a good weekend.
Yes, it was a great weekend.
Review it for us. What'd you like from your team? General thoughts.
Goodness. I love how well this team is playing together. I love how caught up they are in each other. I love how they are competing every pitch. The expectations that they have, they're just in a really good place as a group right now, and I like that a lot.
All right, so reviewing against a really good offensive club, it's always impressive in a conference game, in any conference game. You don't see a run rule victory very often. You know, how big of a deal was that to kind of set the tone with that win like that on Friday?
I think it was a big deal. It's difficult. I think it's just difficult to win in conference in general, and then to have the opportunity to get a run rule and, you know, save an inning of our pitchers not having to throw goes a long way.
I wanted to ask you, too, about the way that your team responded on Sunday. You know, you get down for the first time in a weekend series, then you score the last 7 runs of the game to win 7-4. What did you see Sunday?
I thought Sunday was a great game for us. I thought we needed Sunday. We needed to prove to ourselves that we can fall behind early in the game and figure out a way to come back and win it.
First time sweeping Arizona and ASU in the same season since 2016. So some history. Yeah, see it. Thank you. I appreciate the clap. I think that it's important to note stuff like that because your offense averaged 7.7 runs per game and hit 359 as a team against the squad that prides itself on being statistically the best offense in the Pac-12. I mean, the offense seems to be clicking for you right now.
The offense is really, really clicking right now. You can just see, like, through the lineup how they're working together. You know, I love how Hannah and Kai, I just call them the deadly duo. They're just they're working together and they're getting on base and they're moving over. And then you have Tara and you have Bunk that are coming up and driving these guys in. And then after that, you have KK and Ariel and Taya. And, you know, it's like they're just like kind of working in groups throughout the lineup and understanding what their roles are and what they're needing to do and just executing.
How big of a deal is it to have that length in the lineup? You know, like we've talked about how you got some infusion of players back with injuries, and that's really benefited you, I feel like.
Oh, for sure. You know, I think before we were just a little like just almost expecting a couple to do so much, and we can't. You know, I think when you've really gotten to see us do and be who we are, there's so many people contributing right now. It's not just a couple. I feel like kind of earlier in the year, we'd have a couple that we were constantly relying on a little bit, and now you're just seeing everybody flourish and working together.
And there were certainly weekends and games I feel like where like Allie Bunker, Tara McGowan, for example, like that was the difference maker. You know, you need players, I guess. I'll put it this way. You need players that step up in those big games, but also they must feel nice to not have as much pressure on their shoulders.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think if you were to ask them, they wouldn't even talk about that.
Yeah.
They just would talk about how unbelievable our team is doing. And it's cool to see Carissa come in a pinch hit and, you know, clutch up, and it's just to see Kai getting on base, you know, Hannah to chop a slap through the infield, and then Kai does it and moves them over, and just I love how we're passing the bat right now.
Okay, I got to ask you about Carissa. So there's this old adage that pinch hitting is like one of the hardest things to do in sports. She went 2 for 2 with 5 RBIs as a pinch hitter. Hardest thing to do in sports.
Yeah, I think it is hard. You know, you're sitting on the bench, and then all of a sudden you get, you know, one opportunity.
Right.
I was saying this about her the other day. Carissa, if you know Carissa, she doesn't get too high. She doesn't get too low. She's always just kind of right there in the middle. I think she's just kind of made for these types of opportunities. I just think she's just got it in her to come in and clutch up like that.
It's interesting, like, because it's such a mental aspect, I feel like, as a pinch hitter. You kind of have identified, like, those are some of the intangibles, I suppose, that it takes.
I think so, yeah.
That's interesting. Missy Lombardi joining us, Oregon softball head coach, Thursday against Pacific, then at Cal. It's a 4-game road trip upcoming for Duck softball. I wanted to ask you about a couple players of the week. Always a good thing when you get the Pac-12 player and pitcher of the week. Let's begin with the player. Tara McGowan only hit 750 this week. She could have done better.
Yeah, she could have done just a little better.
How good was she?
She was really good. Just clutch for us. And she's another one that's pretty cool and calm at the plate. So you get to see what she does offensively and just the power that she has and just the will. You know, I just think when our athletes have that will that they will not be denied, that's exactly what's going to happen. And you can see that with her right now. She knows what she wants. What I'm more impressed with her is just what she's doing behind the plate with our pitchers. She has really done a good job of taking borderline pitches and turning them into strikes. She really understands how to work with all of our pitchers. They're all so different. So I love what she's just doing all, you know, at the plate and then also, you know, behind it.
There's a lot of conversation amongst Diamond Sports now about like two-way players, you know, with pitchers that can hit and vice versa, and the time commitment that it takes to do both well. I kind of wanted you to take fans inside that process for a catcher, if you could, because I feel like sometimes catchers, it's forgotten that they often are kind of the two-way player before we had this era of like a two-way player, because they're in the bullpen. They're working with pitchers all the time. Like, what is the time commitment for her?
It's a lot. You know, like we are so strategic at practice. I think Coach Martyr and I are always fighting about, I need to get catchers in the bullpen because I need them to work with our pitchers. She needs to get them, you know, hitting. Coach Reagan needs them on defense so we can work. Like, we're constantly just pulling at them. And, you know, on top of that, they've got to be able to put in their own work. And which they all do. So, but yeah, she's great. I'm excited for her.
Now the pitcher of the week. So Tara McGowan receiving Morgan Scott, who went 2-0, no runs allowed. That's a 0 ERA if you were keeping track at home. 6 hits, 11 strikeouts over 11 2/3. Threw a complete game, a 3-hit shutout in game 1. It's cool to see the recognition for the Pac-12 pitcher of the week, Morgan Scott.
Yeah. I think the biggest difference for her is just her command. She's really understanding how to command the zone and put herself in really good counts and change speeds.
Rankings. I don't know if you're looking at these things. I am. Number 14, number 13 in the latest rankings. RPI is at number 18, 4th place in the Pac-12 standings, a game back of Utah. Tied with Washington in the loss column. The RPI of the remaining Pac-12 teams, if you are curious about these things and rankings, Cal is number 27, Utah is number 26. Do you like where you're sitting heading into the final few weeks?
I do. What I like is that I just think it's in our hands. You know, if you asked our athletes, they would tell you they understand what they need to do, and it's in our hands. It's just about continuing to take it one game at a time, and I think they really have a good idea of what they want to do, like what they need to do, and for them just to keep rolling with it.
Yeah. Pacific on Thursday. I know it's one of those games where it's nice that you can get somebody to play when you're already on a road trip. Tell us a little bit about Pacific.
Yeah, we've a couple years ago we got to do the same thing. We were able to play them before Cal. I've known their coach for a long time. He's been coaching forever. They're a good team. I think it's important for us to just really stay on target with one game at a time, you know, for us to go in and prepare for them, and then from there get ready for Cal, but not to look ahead.
It's interesting. Like, the last thing you want is to be thinking so much about Cal in the Pac-12 series, then you go and Pacific surprises you, right? I mean, that's what we're talking about here.
Yeah, no, anybody can beat anybody. I mean, I just think that you have to take records and statistics and everything and throw it out the window. Anybody can beat anybody on any given day, and our team knows that, and our team respects that.
Cal, the series coming up, 3-1, and then the finale Sunday at noon, Friday through Sunday in Berkeley. Ryan Milano is going to make the trip for KWVA. You can listen on the student radio station, get the hometown call. What's the report on Cal?
They're really good. They're explosive at the plate. They've got a pitching staff. They handle their defense well. I mean, I feel like what I would tell you about any other Pac-12 team, it's going to be a tough one.
And being on the road.
Yeah.
I mean, that's always a challenge.
For sure.
All right. Allie Bunker made some history. I got to ask you about this. So we've been talking about how Allie Bunker's been rewriting the record book left and right. On Sunday, she became the first player and only player in program history ranked in the Oregon career top 5 in hits, doubles, runs, and RBIs. You don't see that in record books across diamond sports very often. So just another opportunity to talk about how special she's been in her career. That's a cool accomplishment.
It is a cool accomplishment. You know, I think she is somebody that no question, she wants to leave her legacy, and she's doing that. And you know what? You look at the numbers, but to me, like, when I think of her legacy and how she's leaving it, she's leaving this program better than she found it. The leadership, you know, that she has, she's just she's a special person. She's a special athlete, special teammate. I think it's pretty cool that young ones that maybe, you know, like Remington, she got to play with her. She's only going to get to play with her for 1 year. I think that's pretty awesome that she got at least 1 year. Some of these others that have gotten some, you know, multiple years. She is impacting our program. She's impacting our athletes, and I just couldn't, you know, I could go on and on. Yeah. I'm just thankful for what she's doing.
And the longevity of the career is one thing. It also means she's been in the lineup for you an awful lot. You know, the consistency, that's really valuable for a program.
Yes, we threw her into the fire year 1 and said, you got to figure it out.
She did.
And she did. Yeah, she did. Tara, same thing. Threw her into the you know, she had to sit out a year, but then from there threw her in the fire as well. So I just am thankful for what these guys have done, and there's a lot to do still. So
the weeks ahead are going to be fun. I'll continue talking about the standings and the nitty-gritty, and Coach Lombardi is going to worry about Pacific and just get a win on the road. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Did we miss anything? What else should fans know?
You know what? Our fans were awesome this past weekend. Thank you for coming out and supporting us, and we can't wait to see you again when our last homestand against Utah. But our fans were amazing. Friday, it was tough. We had some bad weather. Saturday and Sunday was awesome.
Senior weekend coming up.
Yeah.
We won't talk about that yet.
No, we'll wait.
Yeah. Thanks, Coach.
Okay.
Safe travels. It's going to be senior weekend before we know it. When I said that, I could tell she was like, oh, man, like, why, Joey? Why do you say that? It's true, though. Senior weekend is going to be here before we know it for Duck softball. So the Ducks are on the road. They will play Pacific 4 o'clock on Thursday, then a 3-game set in Berkeley that begins at 3 o'clock on Friday. Also, Oregon lacrosse is in action this weekend. I want to go through the weekend schedule, our Cafe Yum 2-minute drill, when we come back to wrap up Duck Insider here on a Wednesday on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, we're more than just an award-winning golf course and practice facility. Our events team offers all-inclusive event pricing that allows us to take care of all the details while you enjoy your event. Our indoor and outdoor venues offer you a wide variety of fully staffed options that put the focus on you. From weddings to business and social events, at Shadow Hills Country Club Events Center, you get the benefits of a resort atmosphere and amenities in a peaceful country setting, just minutes from downtown Eugene. Call for a tour today or visit shadowhillsevents.com.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, OnPoint proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. OnPoint Community Credit Union, onpointcu.com. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity.
This is Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Here's a fun fact for you. The average chameleon can point their eyes in 2 different directions. On the other hand, the average human can't. So unless you're a chameleon, there's absolutely no way you can focus on texting and driving at the same time. So don't do it, unless you're a chameleon.
Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Guys, it's me, Isabella Gomez, filling in for Smokey Bear because he's got more to say than just...
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Like, if you're outside enjoying a barbecue, don't let a hamburger distract you from fire safety. Make sure you aren't dumping your hot coals or ashes onto the ground because that could start a wildfire. So take wildfire prevention seriously and let's save the world one day at a time. Juntos con Smokey Bear, podemos hacerlo. Go to smokeybear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Final segment from the Country Financial Studio here on a Wednesday. It's always your Cafe Yum 2-minute drill. So Duck baseball with a victory last night, 11-4 over Gonzaga. Oregon concluding that midweek series against Gonzaga with a 5 o'clock start here tonight, 4:45, the pregame show. Going on right now, Arizona State facing off with men's tennis in the Pac-12 championships. Also, women's tennis against Colorado. More updates coming your way on GoDucks.com. Those matches are underway currently as we're live on the air coming up on 2 o'clock. So looks like the Ducks got the doubles point, I think, in both matchups. So we'll see. Oregon Acrobatics and Tumbling. The NCATA championships begin against Frostburg State University in West Virginia. It's on ESPN Plus tomorrow, 10:30 in the morning, Pacific time. That's the beginning of the bracket for the number 2 seed Ducks, hoping maybe for a matchup with Baylor toward the end of the season. Would be nice. Number 1 seed Baylor, number 2 seed Ducks could be a collision course coming up. We've been talking about Duck softball, the 4 o'clock start on Thursday against Pacific, then the 3 o'clock start on Friday to begin a 3-game series against Cal. Also, Colorado is the opponent for Oregon women's lacrosse. The final regular season matchup for the Ducks in Boulder, 3 o'clock the start on Friday. And Duck baseball, this huge matchup this weekend. Arizona State's in first. Ducks are in third in the Pac-12 standings. Oregon within striking distance of moving into first place with a series win/series sweep of Arizona State. 5 o'clock on Friday, it gets rolling. And, of course, the spring game is this weekend. A lot going on. All the details are available on GoDucks.com. Yeah, big week. Big week for the Ducks on the horizon. Lastly, Oregon track and field in a couple different meets this weekend. Beach volleyball is also in action as part of the Pac-12 championships, and men's golf, the Pac-12 championships this weekend beginning on Friday as well. I'm Joey Mack. Thanks for joining us. Duck baseball, 4:45 pregame show at PK Park. See you then.
Adopt